Let's get ready for evening hour. Here we go. Evening hour cookie party. Look at this. Look at this. Oh yeah. Full-on Italian cookie hour. Pizzelle waffles, everybody. Here we go. All right. What's up? Let us... You know what? I'm going to switch over to vinyl. Hold on. That was actually a CD. Hold on. This is the fun part. And there we go. What's up, everybody? Can you believe it's Monday? I can. Oh, I got to pay attention now. I'm making cookies. My name is Cardone. This is my evening hour show. And this is the channel, Cardone Entertainment. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and the notify button. It's all I ask. Yeah, come on in, everybody. I see people are jumping in now. Let me check. Yep. I am making Pizzelle waffles, Italian cookies. There's one that's just done. Look at that color. Lightly browned, not too brown. Look at that color. Look at this color. The lighting tonight's terrible. Yeah, here, let me keep going. So, a little story about Pizzelle waffles as I do this. My family has been making these ever since I can remember. I mean, it's been part of my family forever. Both of my grandmothers made these. And when I was really little, they did them on the stove, and they did them one at a time. And then they invented this gadget, and you can do two at a time. I had three and broke one tonight, believe it or not. This one here I've had for 25 years. This one here I just got. It is junk. It's called Cucina Pro. I had two of them. They are literally, they feel like a toy compared to this. It's like a light, it doesn't even feel like steel. It's so lightweight and crappy. So here, let's get this out of here. I just wanted to show you that. I think my little one's going to take, are you going to take that one and go make more? So my daughter, who's a chef, master pastry chef, she's actually going to go in the other room and start busting them out because look how much batter I have. You can only make these, you know, two. Oh, damn. See, I just made a faux pas. I took one out too early, but that's okay. Here we go. That's fine. Oh, yes. William says he's got a waffle maker of sorts. Yeah, this is a very specific recipe. The whole house smells like anise oil. It's got that anise. Some people say anise. I say anise. It's a wonderful smell. It smells like a licorice-y kind of scent. In a lot of Italian pastries. These I have been making myself for maybe 25 years. About 25 years. Not many people in my family still make them. And I make, look at that coloring. That's the color you want. I make 25 dozen. Stop and process that for a second. 25 dozen at 2, or usually now I'm doing 4 at a time. It's maddening. But you know what? I enjoy it. I'm not complaining. I give them out as presents to those who are close to me. Here, give me this bowl. That is Chef Moonlight. And while those cook, I'm going to pour some in a bowl. Bowl. Oh, yeah. I'm going to pour a lot, actually. Okay. Thank you, Chef Moonlight. Okay. Thank you. we cook a lot in my family. Pastries, and all sorts of things. During this pandemic-y stuff, it's even more cooking and freezing and, why not, right? The only thing I like to eat out, believe it or not, is McDonald's. Not kidding. Who do we got in here? William, Libra, Liz. Come on in, everybody. Let me check these. See, now for some reason, they're sticking to the top. I don't know why. Yeah. So what's up, everybody? Come on in. Normally, I tell some stories, and I am going to tell some stories tonight while I do this. A lot pertaining to this subject. I'm sure a lot of people in here have some sort of holiday time cookies, desserts, right? Libra Liz asks if this recipe is Grandma's. Yep, this is Grandma's. This is Grandma Cardone's recipe. I remember when she read it to me on the phone. Seems like yesterday. This is the first year I will be making these, and she's not around anymore. She passed away in August at 98, which is a damn good year to live to be. So, cheers to Grandma Helen Cardone. Amanda, hello. The key to these is letting them air out flat and then stack them. Don't start stacking them right away, or they don't air out right away. Also, you want them light brown. I don't have my hand cam. Let me see. Is my hand cam? Oh, yeah. Hi, hand cam. It's set up, so I'll do a good close-up of one in a second. Also, if you want to try these out, get one of these little scooper dupers. It just makes it a lot faster. Once I get into a rhythm, man, I can go really fast. I don't know how much flour I put. I always guess the flour. I just know the consistency that I can. It's drippy, but not drippy where I can't get it over to here without it dripping. That's my consistency. God, I love the smell. It literally permeates the entire complex when you make these. Yeah, Grandma Helen made pizzelles and some cookies. My other grandma, we call her Nana. Nana made like a lot of cookies, like 15 different ones. And some of them, I don't even remember what they were called, or she had a couple that were like soaked in honey. They were kind of hard and soaked in honey. I can't remember the name of those. But yeah, we ate a lot of cookies growing up. Homemade, all homemade. We didn't buy them. And then I have an Aunt Edie and an Uncle Terry. I don't know if they're watching. They are bakers too. They actually had a business. They're bakers. So there's a lot of baking and cooking in my family, and always has been, and on both sides. They did not eat out. I was telling my daughter today, they didn't eat out. They made everything. If they saw something they liked, they would make it, which I respect. Here we go. Look. Now let me do a hand cam on these, and I'll show you the color. Let me see if you can get a good... Even that lighting's terrible, folks. I hate the lighting in here tonight. All right, so the reason why the lighting in here... There's the color. See, it's a little brown, but not really. Just a little bit. The reason why the lighting in here is bad is this stupid Pizzelle iron blew the power out. I had both of them plugged in at one point, and so none of that. Yeah. I'm kind of a hyperactive person, so this is a great activity for me. I'm one of those guys. I can't stop moving. Steven, what's up? Come on in, folks. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you have pastry memories at the holidays. Mine was these, and my whole life, since I moved to New York City, this is my 25th year in New York City. Wow. Since I moved here, I still remember when I lived on the Upper West Side, I called my grandma and got the recipe for this, and it's still written on the paper on my fridge. It's still there. Moonlight! Bring the recipe. It's still in the hand. I remember I was on the phone, and I wrote it, and it's on two sides. The salt is on the back. I'll show it to you. It's funny. Let me see. Look. That's it. It's just like a little scribble scrabble. Yeah. Anywho. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, folks, thank you so much for supporting this channel. and also my Kickstarter. My Kickstarter is at the 11,000 mark. Awesome. We're trying to get it to 15, and we only have 13 days to go. So it's called Satanic Playing Cards. Easy to remember. So go check it out. I think you'll like it. And we're starting to add some cool new stuff. We are adding t-shirts, and I'll show them later on this show. We're adding t-shirts, and we are excited about them. I mean, they're really cool shirts. When I saw the artwork, I was like, wow. So we have one, maybe two coming. Oh, Mama! Fran, my mom's in here, and she'll tell you about Nana's cookies. Fran, here, you're in here. What were those cookies called that Nana made that were soaked in honey? They had weird names for these things. Some of them I've asked other Italian people, and they're like, I don't know what that is. If you can remember, Mama, write it in there. And my mama made cookies at Christmas too. I mean, lots. And the ones that she made were different than the ones my grandmother's made. My mom made the old school cutout ones too. She had all these awesome cutout shapes. And I remember, Mom, my favorite ones that you made Christmas tree cookies. You made green ones too. And I remember I loved green batter. Especially, right out of the oven. So yeah, there's Francis is in here. What's up, Franola? Hold on. Nope, almost. They are like a ball. No, these weren't a ball. No. They were like a bow or something. They were not. I remember them being like a bow or a little weird bow. And they were soaked in honey. Yeah, I don't know what they are. I would love to find them. All right. I like strufoli. Anybody like strufoli? I'm going to go buy one. That I don't know how to make. You have to fry those. Yeah, I think you're thinking of strufoli, Amanda. That's what that is. All right, this is filled. This is the drip pan. I just drip it right back in. Now, I have something I like to do with pizzelles that a lot of people think is gross, and that is, I'll do one right now. Here, I like to take a piece and put a little batter on it. Kids, don't try this at home. It's got raw egg, unfortunately. Love it. So, my Kickstarter is kicking it. It's awesome. All right, so right now there's a contest on my Kickstarter. If you go there right now, there's a post. And on that post, if you comment on it, 2 names, if you put 2 names in there, and you also put it in your stories, you get put in a drawing to get your face on one of the characters in the deck. It's kind of off the charts. And it's free. Free entry. Just go do the thing on the page. It's on my Instagram, Cardone Magic. It's a picture of Anton LaVey. Bows. Yeah. Okay. They were like little bows with honey. And I remember the dough was kind of crispy, maybe. She also made, Fran, what were the ones? I think she called them biscottis, but they were weird. They were like a loop and really hard. They were like a loop and they were rock hard. Those are another one she made. They were good with coffee. Yeah, so Wednesday we're going to do the drawing. I'm going to probably be on live making more cookies. And Friday. Oh, wait till you hear what I'm working on for Friday. So for the last week, I've been doing a little more research on a subject that is I'm a major fan of. And that is the subject of neurotheology. So just the name alone should blow your head up. When I first heard that word, neurotheology, I was like, wow, what is that? That sounds fun. And it is fun. Neurotheology is the study, literally, of God and religion and the neurology of our minds. And it's a newer thing. I would say in the last 25, 30 years, it started getting popular. And it's really fascinating. And I'm going to do an episode of Behind the Devil's Curtain. It's called Hacking God. It literally is what it is. They've found in our brains where these elements lie, and it's kind of off the charts. Especially the new stuff coming out now. Some of the stuff was like hypothesized a while ago. Look, these are a little too dark, folks. Not too much, but I like them a little lighter. A lot of the stuff was just like kind of hypothesized, and they took some guesses, and they were right on where the stuff is in the brain. So I don't want to spoil it too much. But if you're into critical study of religion and spirituality and neuroscience, you're going to dig it. It's pretty fun. I'm going to give you what I've learned in the past, because I've been studying it for years, and what I've just recently learned. I just jumped right into it again. I'll give you a little hint. And you've all heard me say this, but I've been reading a lot of Greek and Roman philosophers recently. And I mean a lot. I've been like pouring through this stuff. And a lot of it lines up with modern neuroscience. And also on just the biology of how our brains came together. And a lot of the Stoic philosophy stuff lines up with it. It's pretty interesting. That's why some of these guys, Sam Harris, for instance, you know, these are very science-oriented dudes, but they figured out that meditation really does work scientifically. And that's a lot of what my show, Behind the Devil's Curtain, is about. Is a lot of the stuff works for reasons that people don't realize. You know? It's like with a lot of supernatural stuff I've discovered over the years, is a lot of it is real. It's just not what people think it is. It's literally they're interpreting it in a very fantastical manner sometimes, but sometimes there really is a phenomena that does happen. It's just, I'm going to do an episode on ghosts, because I think ghosts are a natural phenomenon and have nothing to do with spirits at all. I think it's two things. I think it's your subconscious mind, but I also think outside influences like certain sound waves cause you to hallucinate certain things. So, and there's some research on this stuff. So, again, I think certain ghost experiences are real. Like, people do have an experience. It's just not what they think. Now, the one that's blowing my mind recently, what I wanted to talk about tonight while I make cookies like a freak, I keep forgetting what phase I'm in, is the UFO thing going on, folks. Okay? I was going to do a whole episode on it, but I'm just going to chat about it tonight. 3 years ago it was? Sherman. Rick Sherman just wrote, I don't believe in ghosts, but I am afraid of them. Yes! There's a Karen Black lyric. I believe in Halloween and all the ghosts I've never seen, which I always thought was great. My question is, what's going on with the UFO stuff? Because 3 years ago, every newspaper ran the article that the Pentagon basically admitted they were real, and nobody cared. And most people I would mention it to were like, oh, really? Oh, I didn't hear that. What do you mean you didn't hear it? It should have been front page, everybody talking about it. Like, oh my God, they actually... And most people were like, yeah, everybody already knew it. And I'm like, no, you're missing the point. They're admitting it now. Why are they admitting it? It's either real, or they're admitting it to distract us from some other nefarious deed going on. It's either one or the other. Why would they say that? Paranormal stream once a month. Well, my show is, Behind the Devil's Curtain is a paranormal stream, basically. paranormal from my end of it. But the UFO bit, folks. So the Pentagon's like, not only do we see them a lot, we have material. And I remember the original article mentioned that they had material. And again, everybody forgot about it. What do you mean you have material? What are you talking about? What? I mean, it's mind-blowing. So fast forward to now. A few years ago, the dude in Canada said there's an alien federation, some high official. And then recently, the Israeli guy, who's like their head of science for their space program, he's like, yeah, I'll tell you now, there's a federation. What? Oh yeah, and they have a base on Mars. There's some humans that interact with them. Again, it's either not real and they're saying it to distract us from something, or it's real. Why would he make that up? I mean, I guess you could say he made it up for attention, but it just doesn't add up. Now, the one that interested me for the longest time was Bob Lazar. And there's a documentary by some guy named Jeremy Corbin. The documentary's trash. The director's trash. Not into it. It's not good. It actually made me skeptical to Bob Lazar's claims. The film. So it did the opposite of what he was trying to do with the film. And it made me discover some things. But the thing about Bob Lazar, for those of you that don't know, he's the guy that said he worked at, not Area 51, near Area 51, and that he worked as a reverse engineer for a flying saucer. His story is extremely detailed, solid as a rock. He's very convincing. Even the way he described the UFOs matches up to how these new NASA guys describe it. He said that the UFO at low speeds is jittery, which is awkward and weird. And the guy said when he was flying his F-15 or 16 or whatever it was, and he looked down and saw the UFO, it was above the water, jittering. He literally said the same thing. I was like, and he said it jitters because it uses gravity for propulsion. And when it's not moving, it can't find it. It's like looking for it constantly. It's like moving. And then, pew, it goes. And once it starts going in one direction, it goes. So I really believed Bob Lazar as, if anybody's telling the truth, this guy's got a pretty solid story. And his doing behavior language. So I do a lot of study on body language. And he looked pretty good. Okay? His body language is, I'm telling the truth. And then I saw the new documentary, and there's claims in it that are really weird and far-fetched. Yeah, there's some junk in it, like full-on garbage, fake nonsense. Oh yeah. Right. So someone just made a point. Shane's World in here wrote, during that doc, when the FBI raided his business, they actually were looking for evidence to prove he poisoned his first wife, not element 115. Correct. And his science company just sells kits. It's basically for little kids. It's like a toy store for science stuff. It's not a real, I don't think they supply stuff to like major companies. It's like mail order science kits for hobbyists. So it's not like hardcore stuff, right? The other thing is, that hand scanner that he claimed, there's goofy evidence on that. There's a lot of stuff that I saw. Wait, is this? Oh yeah, these are done. There's a lot of bunk in that movie. Another one was, what was the other thing that was in there? Oh, element 115. So he claimed that it was an element used to power the UFOs. And then they found it recently. And they're like, look, see? But I heard it's just a numerical thing. It would be like if there was only 10 chemicals, and he predicted they were going to find chemical 11. It's like, they found chemical 11. Of course they did. It's the next one in the sequence. So, there's some other goofy stuff. Anyway, but watching that film made me think that they were trying to make it look like there was more going on than needed, which is a red flag to his story, to me. So, I started looking at Bob Lazar really detailed, and I saw a behavior guy crack him. He was like, look, he's hard to read because he's so good at what he does. And his story doesn't change, but there is some interesting stuff. If you ask him to remember some stuff about his college, he's like, I can't really remember the details. What? If you ask me to remember college, I can explain everything. And believe me, I partied my first few years there. So I can tell you everything. I can name my professors, what I did, who I was studying with, the projects I did. Okay? And people will remember who I am. No one remembers this guy. And then I saw an interview where he basically said in the interview, it might have been Joe Rogan. It was. He was asking him about some details. You know, like, what was the details of this machine that you worked on? And he basically was like, I don't do that bit anymore. What do you mean you don't do that anymore? You don't talk about it anymore. What do you mean? It's like literally like, that's my old act. I don't do it anymore. He said it in a manner that was very like, wow. Because if it was real, it wouldn't be, if it really happened, he wouldn't have said that. There's no way. He would have been like, let's talk about it. Let's go into detail. I'll explain it all day. So my red flags started going off pretty quick with that guy. Recently, after studying a few things. But that does not dismiss that the government's now saying that the UFO phenomenon is actually happening. And recently again, how many of you have seen the new picture they posted? So one of the UFOs, so the other thing is the UFOs they say they see are all different. It's not one kind. There's the Tic Tac that's 40 feet long. There's the weird drone thing that goes in and out of water. Look that up. That was in Puerto Rico in Aguadilla. Look up Puerto Rico UFO footage. I mean, it is freaky, folks. You literally see this thing going in and out of water, and then all of a sudden there's two of them. And it's no, I don't know. It looks crazy. And then another thing that people see is a sphere with a translucent cube around it, flying at, supersonic speed. What does that even mean? Well, there's a photograph of one, and they kept calling it a cube. And I look at it, I'm like, that ain't no cube. It looks like a bat wing. It looks like a Batman vehicle. It looks big, and there's a photograph of one. I don't know what it is, man. And I don't think they know what all this is. Now, there's a lot of people that think it's not alien. It is man-made. It is a new technology that they're messing around with. There are people that think there are humans made them from the future. It's dimensional. I mean, who knows? I was watching a documentary last night, and they went into Einstein's theory of relativity. And I don't know if anybody here has ever actually chewed on it a bit, but my God, it is amazing. And I think it started with him thinking about, like, on a very simple notion, but kind of not simple, because he's a genius. Literally. If you're running on Earth and I measure your speed of running, it's in relationship to the ground not moving, But if you're running on Earth, the Earth is actually rotating, I don't know how many thousand miles an hour, right? So you're moving that way too. And the Earth is moving this way away from the center of the universe. So it's spinning and moving, and you're moving. So it's all relative to this. So your movement on Earth is, it gives me goosebumps. It makes me, I get that moment of, what is it? It's in my thing coming up. It's a moment of awe and transcendentalness. It's like this, I don't understand, and I'm filled with this marvelous puzzle. Right? When I think of that, it does that to me. Wow. Somebody posted online a cartoon, an animation of, these came out perfect. Woo. Woo. They did an animation of, what it would look like when you imagine our solar system. So most people imagine a solar system. Steven said, you feel small, really small. That's why people think, it's funny that people think the non-believer types are arrogant to think they're the only ones in charge. And I think if you're the non-believer type and you put yourself in the grand scheme of the universe, it's ridiculous. We're dust. My favorite analogy that I've come up with on just how to explain our existence is we're dust that gets to realize what we are for a couple seconds. And then we're dead. On the grand scheme of things. So it's just like, oh my God, and then you're gone. It's like 1 second. So yeah, they showed this cartoon of like, if you imagine the solar system, what does it look like? And everybody goes, there's the sun and everything's going around, right? And then the next one was like, no, this is what it really looks like. And it's this thing moving and going in a vortex away from the center of the universe. Oh, you want more batter? Excellent. Wait, hold on here. Chef Moonlight needs more batter. Woo! Hot. All right, let me... Okay, go ahead. Put it right on the table. Here we go. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So, I don't have to flip the record yet. Anywho, hi. There's no life. Right, Amanda. Well, again, what does life mean? What does that mean, life? Because now, if computers can learn and think and respond and create, if a machine can create another machine and repair itself, I don't know. My concept of consciousness in life is getting to be blurry because of how good technology's taken over. Yeah, it's kind of wild. What if there's evolved gas or intelligent gas? I mean, I don't know if you've seen the film Contact, Jodie Foster, written by Carl Sagan. Excellent movie. That one, I remember the scene where she meets the aliens and they look like her father, I believe. And they're like, this is the only thing we could present ourselves that you would understand. Meaning the alien in its true form, you can't even process it. You won't even get it. It's like hard to imagine what that would be. It would be like explaining to an ant what a DVD player is. It's just not happening. Oh, time to flip the record. How about explaining to someone how a record player works? I'm always baffled. Record players the way they operate is kind of a modern marvel because you're actually hearing the sound wave. Look at these perfect Pizzelles. Yeah, I don't know. I do about 25 dozen of these. Yeah. I do believe that there are... if you ask me if I think there's actually UFOs involved here doing something, yes, for sure. I mean, I think the feds are admitting it because they're crowdsourcing a bit. They're like, can you help us? Anybody know? And I do think they're a little baffled they wouldn't talk about it right now. You know? I know one, the Tic Tac pilot, he's like, they experienced this Tic Tac. They said they're flying. They see one above the water and one directly below the surface. And the one above the water is jittering. And then it goes, pew, and takes off. And they're like, whoa, look at that. So now it's like they're following it doing this in a circle. It's like mirroring them. And then the pilot goes, all right, I'm going to go after it a bit. And he goes down, and the thing goes, pew, and just takes off. And they're like, all right, I've never seen anything move that fast or turn that quick. They go back to the base, and they're like, oh, you saw it? Yeah, we've been tracking that thing for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks? What? And they're, oh yeah, and we see lots of them all the time. It's not like they've experienced it a couple times. If you look at the real reports, it's a lot. Look up okay, I'm going to give you guys some UFO stuff to look up that's kind of hard to find, okay? I mean, there's info, but not a lot, and there used to be more, which is why I'm like, here it is. These are the ones where there's mass amounts of people that experience it. The one in Australia, I believe it's called the Whitehall Incident, and I'm talking like hundreds of people saw it. Hundreds. And the town, everybody that saw it, the kids and the adults, the cops and the feds were like, don't tell anybody. And if you go now to those towns and look up the news, they've erased it, most of it. A lot of the news articles that were in the paper, you can't go look them up anymore. And the people that were there do interviews all the time. They're just like, look, we are still upset because no one told us what happened, and we know something happened. Because they were there, they saw it, you know? Look up that. Look up the one in Africa. There's another one where this thing lands, and kids, not only, they see it. They see the things. It's just too weird. And the ones, people thought that they, like, you know, made it up. And the details in the story are too creepy. There's too many weird things in the story. That one, oh man, I wish I had sources for these that I could just click in. And then the other UFO story, what was the other one I just saw? Oh, the one in Puerto Rico is off the charts. When I saw that video, I was like, okay, this is crazy. You see it go underwater. So a lot of these UFOs are water things too, which some people say, hey, maybe they're not alien. Maybe they're like underwater people, which would be crazy. Can you imagine how much would change overnight if it was like, hey, there's a whole group of people living underwater? Everything vibrates. Nikola Tesla. So Tesla, I could do a whole episode on that guy. He knew a lot, and people didn't like the things that he was offering. If you do a little research on him, he died kind of poor, and he got ripped off by a lot of people, and the government took a lot of his stuff. He invented the death ray that they have now. That's real. Look that up. It's a microwave gun. And so another crazy story that went in the news and is gone, but it's real. The ambassadors from America in Cuba and in China, they think were attacked with a radiation weapon. And they have permanent damage. Yeah. Creepy. Creepy. Radiation damage. Yeah, Nikola Tesla invented a lot of stuff. Beamable electricity, so that you can literally power something like this by a beam, not by plugging it in. Which means it's kind of easy and free to get if you have a thing that picks it up out of the air. And they wouldn't let him put that out. And I believe he had like a magic show he would do to make money. Like a science magic show. Yeah. William said, his ex in San Juan said it was nonstop on the news there about the UFO. And it wasn't here on the news that much. It wasn't. I mean, it was in a lot of the UFO stuff. It's in and then it's out. People aren't so concerned. Now, the question is, do you think people would bug out if they knew? If Trump went on TV and went, folks, they're here. I'm friends with them. They're friends of mine. Right? Even if it was Biden and he said it, what would people do? If President Biden came on TV and looked in the camera and was like, folks, aliens are real. And we're friends with them. I honestly think it would be chaos. It might not be immediate, but it would creep in. A lot of people, it would cause cognitive dissonance on a level that you can't imagine. You can't imagine. So, I don't know. I kind of hope we live to see it. I'm curious. Yeah, we might get there. Folks, if you're alive today, you're alive in a time where the American government has released files admitting UFOs are real. They just gave them a new name. They're called UAFs, right? Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Wait a second. Steven said, okay, yes, Steven, I remember hearing about that. Yes, I think my mother saw that one. Fran, if you're still in here, I kind of remember you saying you were on your back deck on our old house and you saw one back in that time. I was little at the time, and I remember her saying something about it. Well, there's also the Kecksburg incident in PA, and that was late 60s, early 70s, or early 60s. I don't know, but I don't know who said they would release this stuff. Here's a little anecdote about UFOs that you might like. Like Dan Aykroyd, the comedian, who's a UFOologist, Jackie Gleason was a UFO hobbyist. And in the 50s and 60s, he collected UFO books and newspaper clippings. And in his book that his wife wrote about Jackie Gleason, she tells a story of Jackie Gleason going to meet President Nixon in Florida, and Nixon driving him somewhere to see some stuff. And when he came out of it, he was a little, like, taken. Don't know if it's true, but it would make sense. I do know that, I mean, there's a lot. There's the Kecksburg incident. There's Roswell. I mean, dude, when Roswell happened, the first thing, the government said it was UFOs right away. And then they're like, no, it wasn't. Like, why would they say that immediately? There's some weird stuff. And then they said it was a weather balloon. Who knows? Who the heck knows? All I know is this. Recently, they admitted it. So, for whatever it's worth, something's going on. And I want to know what it is. I've given up on the Bigfoot stuff. Bigfoot, I have some theories of why people see Bigfoot. But at some point, there clearly was Gigantopithecus here. And, okay, if anybody wants to know what Bigfoot is, go look up videos of what bears look like that walk on two legs in the woods. It happens. It's a phenomenon where a bear will hurt his paw, and they just walk on two legs. And some of them are good at it. And it looks like a man in a costume. I'm not kidding. It's actually so weird looking, it's disturbing. They're just like walking around. Like giant bears. And they look awkward. You know, they have these weird hips. I'm telling you. Yeah. Gigantopithecus, which were the apes that lived in North America, they probably were extinct. I mean, they might have been around when humans were still around. A lot of these things. And so humans did mistake them for that. And also, don't forget, you know, we coexisted with some Neanderthals for a long time. And we bred with them. A lot of us still have Neanderthal DNA. So, I do think they came from this notion of us coming from the forest and a reflection of that. We see it. It's like us seeing our early man history, you know? And that's why I think people see it a lot. Not the concept of Bigfoot being elusive and smart, I don't buy. We would eventually find one, you know? Yes, Amanda says yes. I do like the concept of Bigfoot. You never hear about people getting murdered by one. Yeah, it's interesting. Same thing with like the sea monster bit. I mean, dude, there's a million sea creatures that are already sea monsters. I mean, I've been surfing when a whale goes by. That's a sea monster. When you're in the water and you see one, it's a sea monster. It's like, wow, that's big and scary. Yeah, but the UFO bit, sorry, go look up if you're watching this show now. Oh, first subscribe if you're new to this channel. If you are and ask questions. People are in here chatting. I love it. Tonight's a free. When you watch this channel, if it says evening hour, these are the ones I don't rehearse like the other ones. I mean, I don't rehearse them. I plan them out. This, I make a very loose map and just go nuts. Yeah, William's right. The ocean is the place that's not that explored. I'm sure there's some places there that are... Well, did anybody see the movie Meg? About the Megalodon? It's a cheesy Hollywood action film. Two interesting things about it. A, it was a Chinese-American production, which is why there's Chinese actors and American actors mixed, which I thought was kind of cool that they're doing that now. The other thing is the concept of this underwater, there's water that's heavier, and another world underneath in that water. It's like another ocean. So it's an ocean within an ocean. That blew my mind. I love that. Steven said, have you thought about Twitch? Yes. I do have a Twitch channel. I just don't use it yet. I'm still learning it. And I'm still getting all this tech. I'm still getting it up to par. I'm not there yet. It's getting there. Golf Wang Productions is the guy, Golf Wang, a.k.a. Wolfgang Cardone. He is in charge of the tech stuff, and we're working on getting me so I can do live interviews via Zoom and Twitch. So, yeah, we're working on it. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get to I thought I was going to get to 1,000 subscribers by New Year's. I thought wrong. I didn't realize I got 300 subscribers really quick. And then now it's like, it's just the slow grind. And everywhere I look up, it says, just keep going. So I'm just keep going. It's going up. That's why I'm always trying to hustle subscribers. Now, the donations that people gave me, amazing. I've hit enough to get more gear. And, you know, see, look, donations, hey. Somebody just asked if Wolfgang's still into Warhammer. Yeah, online. He likes... my daughter probably likes the board game experience the most out of my families. My son will play them, but he prefers video games now, like the really fancy ones, and I can't do those. So no, he's not into the old school Warhammer. Believe it or not, I am not either. I still collect them. I like them. I like the old fluff, but the new Age of Sigmar I didn't buy. And I'm going to do an entire episode of Boardgasm hating on Games Workshop. I'm going to do a rant episode. Yeah, we'll see. God, look at this. I'm still like... Now you know how tedious these are when you do them like this. It's a non-stop deal. But it's okay. It's fun. And it's winter holiday season. And winter holiday season's fun. Especially this kind of stuff. The traditions. Some of these traditions date in my family, you know, hundreds of years. People have been doing this. And I plan on doing it more. Oh, you need more? Wow. Chef Moonlight is doing well. All right. Go. How many dozen did... Wow, we have a lot here. I don't know how many dozen we have, but we've got at least 8 dozen. Maybe. I'm going to do 25, maybe more this year. We'll see. Oh, I took this one out too early, which means I'll let it cool off and eat it. Now, here's a trick with these. You can roll them and make cannolis out of them, too. You roll them now and let them dry. God, they're just like... That smell of anise is... Oh. It's perfect. These are good for breakfast, and you can put them on a dish and put a scoop of ice cream. And you can't buy these in stores. You can, but they're not the same. The ones they sell in stores are soft. These are like hard and will break. They're kind of hard to ship. All right. Let's see. 3, 2. Perfect. All right. Getting close to finishing here. I think on Wednesday, I'm going to tell some cool stories about classic Christmas toys that changed my life and a lot of other people. Things from the 70s and 80s that, you know, I got at Christmas time as a present that blew my mind and shaped me forever. Yeah. And then Friday, I really want everybody to check it out. Hacking God. How to hack the God part of your brain. And how to use it to your advantage. Because that's what I've been thinking about a lot. If that's true, and we have an area of our brain that's literally the spiritual end, what does that mean? I don't know. Robert Dean says, have you tried absinthe pizzelles? Wow. No, that sounds intense. How does that work? I guess you put a little absinthe in the batter, right? That's cool. Wow. I'm curious about that now. Cool idea. God, imagine if they were that color too. Oh, I gotta look this up. Where? All right, now I'm like, what? Robert, if you're watching, where have you had them, and if you know anything about it, I'm curious. It's very interesting. Absinthe pizzelles. I'm down. I like it. Let's see. I'm going to make, how about Moxie pizzelles? My pal Lou Johnson said he's grabbing me a case of Moxie. I was like, wow. That might be the coolest Christmas present. A case of Moxie soda. All right, these are getting done. These are getting done. Oh, okay, yeah. Wow, Robert Dean in the house with cool idea. You win the cool idea of the season here. That is. So you just add a little bit to the batter and mix it in. It gives it that taste. Cool idea. Maybe I'll make a batch for my Christmas bash. Huh. Interesting. Oh, not done. Yeah, it's definitely interesting making these, of how tedious it is. But you just get in the zone and, you know, you start to learn. This is my system with the knife and the bit. And you need a nice flat, you can't see over here, but there's a lot. Okay. I'm going to pan the camera here at the end probably to show you. And this is just how many I've made. Chef Moonlight is in the other area making them now. Who will be eating cookies when the stream ends? Right here. I've only eaten a little bit. Sometimes I eat too many. Wow. They're not hard to make, folks. Try it. These irons, I will say, get the expensive one. I have that other one, and it is wowzers. Yeah, and then look up, what was it? Neurotheology. Look up neurotheology. One word. There's a lot of books on it now. There's a couple guys that are out there as like kind of spokesmen for it now, because it's been around for a while now. People have been chatting about it and doing research on it for a good 25, 30 years now. And I think it's really mind-blowing. Dude, neuroscience is the new stuff that's shocking, quite frankly, of how much they understand about this now. Stuff that a lot of us still think is mysterious and undiscovered, they know what it is. They found it. They found what it is, how it works. There's a lot of misconception about science. One is that science proves things. And actually, from what I learned, science proves nothing. It proves what things are not. And that's why there's always that 99.9% in there. Like, it doesn't prove anything. It just says, well, it presents it and goes, well, it's not that, and it's not that, and it's not that, and it's most likely not that. And, you know, and that's what science is. And the other thing is, science is just a body of knowledge. That's it. And it's kind of a simple deal. Now, can it be distorted? Well, it depends what you mean by distorted. So, for instance, this is where it gets a little weird with science. If you have something you're looking for, you have a better chance at finding it, I think. Or you can... There's certain ways to frame things to look a certain way. And it doesn't mean that it's factually incorrect or lying. But the frame literally makes it look a certain way. So I think sometimes science does that. But eventually it'll bite them in the butt. Because you do get points for disproving people. You do. You basically get major points. But, yeah. You know, if you can disprove evolution, wow, you win a Nobel Prize. But most people, you can't get, you're not disproving that. Because the evidence is starting to stack. And not only do they know evolution is real from biology, but on a chemical level, it does it too. It's like, so that's what it is. It's a body of knowledge. It's like, it's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, it's interesting. But science is, a lot of people have these notions of what it is, and it's actually pretty simple. Yeah, science proves what things aren't. I forget where I learned that. Maybe Carl Sagan. I'm a big Carl Sagan fan. Although he was wrong about a couple things. I think his nuclear winter model was proven wrong or something. Well, theory, it's weird. Theory is basically as high as it goes. Yeah, that's interesting you brought that up, the word theory. So, people use the word theory as in, well, I have a theory, meaning I have an idea and I don't know if it's right. But that's not what the word theory means in science. So the theory of evolution isn't a theory in that sense. It's proven. It is proven. So it's a hypothesis is what people use the word theory as. Like it's like an idea, a hypothesis, and then the theory is what it turns into. A lot of words are like that. People use the context. Like what's the other one? Agnosticism. That's the one I always see people using in the wrong way. They'll say, I'm an agnostic, meaning they believe in God, they just don't know which one or what it is. And that's what I was taught agnostic meant as a child, is you believe in a God, but it's not a specific God, and it's not like a God that intervenes maybe, but you still believe in it. And now I know that that's the wrong way to use that word. Gnostic, it only refers to knowledge, not belief. So if someone says, is there a God? Your answer is, I don't know. That's an agnostic. If you say, is there a God? And your answer is, I don't know. Do you believe that there's a God? And the guy goes, oh yeah. He's a theistic agnostic. That's what that is. If the guy goes, do you believe in God? And he goes, no, I don't. Is there a God? I don't know. That's an atheist agnostic. That's what most atheists are. Which is interesting, the nuance to those words. Because agnosticism's your knowledge of the thing. Atheism is your belief in it. And if you think about this, belief is really amazing. Because you can't change someone's belief like that. It doesn't work like that. I can't get... It would be like getting an adult and forcing them to believe Santa Claus is real. How would you do that? How would you get them to actually forget everything they knew about Santa Claus up until that point and just believe that it's actually real? How would that happen? It's not happening. Now, over time and some brainwashing, maybe. Yeah, it definitely can happen, actually. So the word belief, I always thought it's interesting how people throw that word around belief. I believe this, I believe that. I hear a lot of people will say, even atheists believe science is real, and that's a belief. But that is not the same analogy as believing in a deity. That's not the same. Same thing with like the word faith. They'll go, well, everybody has faith. You have faith that your wife comes home on time or your kids come home on time. But that's not faith. That's not believing in something without evidence. That's statistics and probability. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, now here we go. I love that you brought up the cards. Here is the ad for the cards. And now, look at this. That's the new Joker. All right, check this out. Check this out. Right. Where is it? Here. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the artist, the man who's actually doing the painting and the drawing. He's doing the art itself with my guidance and curation and design ideas. We are making the deck together, and he's the guy that does all that hard labor wearing an actual printed shirt that is going to be available very soon on the Kickstarter. That was one of the test presses, and it came out awesome. And people were the ones that wanted these. They were like, guys, we want these. So there you go. There's the shirt alone. Yeah, very cool. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I like studying the meanings of words. At the real meanings, like the word stoic, the word stoic, the word what it means today in the dictionary, is very different than what the Stoic philosophers wanted. I mean, as a meaning, it's not that. Same with cynic, the cynic idea as a philosophy. Yeah, I'm fascinated with definitions of words and how people relate to them, because how you define a word, like when I'm talking to somebody about something, like if we're going over philosophy or theology, people throw words out and they have a meaning behind it that's not how I define it. So you can't chat unless you define these things. Especially word like spiritual or God, or the way people define them is very different. And I'm one of those that likes to know how it's being thought of. And that's just me. Woo! Hot, hot. Hot, 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 hot. Oof. Oh my God. All right, folks. I am almost done. I'm going to do a couple more, and I'm going to pull out of this broadcast and get back to my own personal regularly scheduled program, because tomorrow I get up and I work on Wednesday and Friday show. And it's also my busy season. And I have some corporate Zoom shows coming up. So some of y'all work for major corporations. You might see me at your holiday party on Wednesday and Thursday. In Zoom land. I'm in a breakout room for a couple major giant companies doing my magic. And I got to get ready for that. And then I'll see you Wednesday night and Thursday and Friday night live here Wednesday, we do the drawing. So anybody that's doing the Kickstarter, go look at my Instagram, Cardone Magic. There's a picture of the good Dr. LeVay, and in it there's a contest. Check it out. And it's a giveaway. Libra Liz says, does that little furnace give off heat? The answer is yes, it does. It does. My house is 120 years old, 125 years old. And the radiator system in here is horrible. So some of the rooms get really cold sometimes. Well, folks, I had a good time tonight. I actually like talking while I do this. It's like meditative. I go into a different trance of sorts. So thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and notify and like button. It helps me get to 1,000. Trying to get to 1,000 so I can monetize a bit so that I can do these full time. I mean, I am doing these full time as we speak now. Doing 3 a week is like having a day job. No joke. I'm not kidding. And I like it. I'm not complaining. And I'm glad that there's an audience of you guys that come out here and support it. I really do thank you. Every time I say I thank you on these, I actually mean it. I really do. I'm flattered. So, Libra Liz, William, Amanda, Steven, who else is in here? Robert, everybody that's in here right now. Grazie. Grazie. And I will see you on Wednesday. Uh-oh, I hear a dog. I think it's Nala, our mascot. Thank you, everybody. My name is Cardone. You are watching Cardone Entertainment. This is my evening hour. I'm going to be doing another one on Wednesday and Friday, Behind the Devil's Curtain, Episode 5, Hacking God. Pretty crazy stuff, folks. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have an awesome Monday and Tuesday, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Party on. Keep making cookies. Hold on. Nope, they're not done. And let's have a great holiday. Even though things are kind of crappy, we're all going to have a good time, right? What else are we going to do? Party on, everybody. I'll take you out with an outro just like this.